computer. Is this touchscreen? You good? You ready? Yep. All right. Good evening, everybody. Campus Council is now in session. We're going to begin with the roll call. Administrative Coordinator Hill. Here. President White. Here. VP AA Gelnerova. VP SA Epps. Yeah. Treasurer Steckel. Assistant Treasurer Shake. Ace Chair Welch. Here. Ace Chair Mystic. Here. Services Coordinator Porter. Concert Chair Jarzina. Diversity and Outreach Coordinator Bogus. Senator Ericolani. Senator Henderson. Senator Weber. Senator Farran. Senator Iyer. Senator De Vega. Senator Nelson. Senator Logan. Senator Vale. Senator Collinger. Senator Frimpong. Senator Romo. Senator Satchel. Senator Tiberwell. Senator Rebelski. Senator Pierce. Delegate Bulkey. Delegate Brenhofer. Green Fund Co-Chair Magdalena. ACES Co-Director Coleman. ACES Co-Director Benlock. ACES Outreach Coordinator DeRoche. Great, and with that we'll move on to the next item, which is any public comments, announcements, or additional events. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share? Yes? Can we get a mic to Green Code Chair? Yeah.
So we'll be releasing the application for the Green Fund Co-Chair for the next academic year very soon. So you guys should think about applying and alert your constituents that this will be an option. Yes.
Yes, it is a paid position. Constant Chair Jarzina.
Hello. Is it on? No, it's not. Now it is. Nope. Yep. Okay. Hi, everyone. So there's a concert this Saturday night. Madison, McFerrin, and Denizen are coming. I'm really excited. However, I'm a bit behind on the advertising end of things. And so I brought a bunch of these beautiful posters that Cassidy Christensen designed. And I want to ask a favor. I know you're all very busy, but if you could all take one and hang it somewhere where your people who live in your dorm or near you could see it, it would really help me out. So I'm going to pass these around, and I know you're busy, but if you could take the time to do this, it would really help me. Thank you.
Yes. Can we get a mic to Senator Logan, please? Can we pass that mic? Thank you.
Just a reminder for the senators that some of us had the idea of doing the service event on Saturday together. I'm going to go ahead and sign us up as a group, everybody that's responded yes, like tonight or tomorrow. So just shoot me a Facebook message in our Facebook message if you will be there.
Further comments, announcements, or events? Yes, Senator Collinger.
So there has been a survey sent out from Dining Hall where you can voice your concerns, which I think is also really important because people have been trying to address problems with Dining Hall. So please tell your constituents to go out and take this survey to further make the dining hall more acceptable and better for the students. So yeah, thanks.
Further comments, announcements, or events? All right, seeing none further, we'll move on to the next item, which is the approval of the minutes. With that, we are going to open up the polls. And the polls are now open. A is in favor, B opposed, C abstain for the approval of the minutes from the last campus council. We're missing 2 votes. If everybody can make sure they vote within the next 30 seconds or so, or else we're just going to count them as abstentions. Oh, nice. Cool. And with 16 votes in favor and 0 opposed or abstaining, the minutes are approved. The motion passes. 16 in favor, let's just do it. 16-0. With that, we're going to move on to the next item, which is the confirmation of Kaya Clark as the Clay-Grinnell Senator. Kaya Clark, my apologies. Yes, could we pass the mic to President White, please?
So a senator from Grinnell has resigned, and Misha Khalil and I would like to appoint Kaya Clark. Kaya, can you acknowledge yourself? Hey, Kaya.
Hello.
Yeah, so Kaya's a first year and considered being a senator previously, and so now is her time, and she just wants to get more involved in the campus. So I really urge you all to confirm the appointment of Kaya Clark to be a Grinnell senator for the rest of the semester. Happy to take any questions you all have about that.
Are there any questions or comments for discussion? Any questions for President White? Yes. Could you turn the mic on, please?
Is it possible to find out why the other senator resigned?
You can reach out to that senator if you want any more information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for President White? All right, then I'll turn it over to the soon-to-be Senator Clark. Do you have any comments?
I just want to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Kaya. And the reason why I want to be a senator for Grinnell is because I want to be more involved within the SGA in my community. That's it. Any questions, just come to me. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll just have the nominee and those making the nomination step out, and then we will be open to any further discussion, and then we will vote. So are there any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll simply move on to the vote, and the poll will open momentarily. The poll is now open. You can vote A in favor, B opposed, or C abstaining for the nomination of Senator Clark. And with 15 in favor and 1 abstaining, Senator Clark is confirmed. All right.
Oh, do we clap now?
Can you also give this to this one's All right, congratulations. Up next, we will move on to the confirmation of Vedika Haralka as the off-campus senator. President White.
Okay, Vedika is a 4th year and has experience in SJ as a senator, so we think she'd be a great addition to the group. Off-campus senator has resigned, and so we urge you, Khalil, Misha, and I urge you all to approve the appointment of Vedika for the off-campus senator. She's unavailable tonight, so Henry Bolster is here to represent her tonight. And she intends on being at every other campus council from here on out. Happy to take any questions anyone has on that appointment.
Any questions or comments for President White? All right. Mr. Bolster, do you have any comments you'd like to say? Great. We're getting a mic to you right now.
This is a statement directly from Vedika, so I'm gonna go for it. Hello, my name is Vedika, and I'm a fourth-year econ major with a concentration in global development studies. Sorry that I can't be there in person. I'm currently in a 6-hour tech fair play that runs this weekend. Come watch it. I want to be senator because I think it would be valuable to be a part of the discussion and voting about affairs on campus. As far as credentials go, I've previously served as senator of Loosehead in my second year fall semester, so I've experience in the role, and I'm looking forward to planning and organizing events for off-campus students and being a part of the conversation during campus council. Thanks for your time.
Are there any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, some people will step out of the room and then we will continue. Are there any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to the vote. The polls are now open. This is for the confirmation of Senator Harlalka. A is in favor, B opposed, C abstaining. All right, and with 16 in favor and 2 abstaining, the confirmation of Senator Harlalka passes. All right, congratulations. And up next, we will move on to the next motion, which is a motion to impeach Senator Ercolani. Is there... Yes.
So for this, Quinn can come back next week. This is the last time he's not going to be able to be here. If no one seconds this motion, nothing happens, and then Quinn comes back next week. That's my point of information.
All right, so first we have the motion to impeach Senator Ercolani. Do I see a second for this motion? All right, I see a second from Senator Rebelski. All right, is there anybody? President White. We get a mic to President White, please.
Okay, first off, I'd like to just say, we're going to move to a vote now. Probably, it's okay. Everyone's entitled to vote how they want, of course. I just wanted to say, in terms of discussion, that I think Quinn has been a great senator and has made an earnest effort to find subs in the times that he's been unavailable, and has had other constraints. So I would urge people to not impeach Quinn. Also, I'm working with the department chair of theater and dance to potentially make the attendance requirements for Wednesday night rehearsals more lenient for people who are also members of campus council, so that this isn't an issue going forward. And Quinn has done a good job with his duties beyond campus council throughout the whole semester.
Next, we have VPSA EPS.
I second that. I'd say contrary to popular belief, I think Quinn does a good job. I don't think we should impeach him, regardless of what he said about me in an article. But yeah, I think he's a good senator. So no, I was feeling like I was a little hurt what he said, that he paraphrased some stuff that I said. But yeah, he's a good senator, so y'all shouldn't impeach him.
Senator Rebelski. I see a motion to previous question. Do I see a second? So Senator Logan. All right. And can I see all those in favor, all those voting members in favor of the motion to previous question, please raise your hands now. Motion to previous question being to move on to the vote. I see. Can I put hands up high, all those in favor of the motion to previous question? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All those opposed, please raise your hands now. All those opposed to the motion to previous question. And all those abstaining from the motion to previous question, please raise your hands now. All right. And with 10 in favor, 0 opposed, and 8 abstaining, the motion to previous question passes, and we'll be moving on to the vote on the motion to impeach Senator Ercolani. The polls are now open. A is in favor, B opposed, C abstain on the motion to impeach Senator Ercolani.
No, I said what my thoughts, what people think of, that I think of him.
All right, and with none in favor, 16 opposed, and 2 abstaining, the motion to impeach Senator Ercolani does not pass. All right, it does not pass. Does not pass. Motion to impeach Senator Ercolani does not pass. Up next, we'll be moving on to the budgets from ACE, the ACE co-chairs. Can we get a mic to one of the ACE co-chairs or both?
So, hello? I'm going to go first, Sarah. So we got one budget that needs your approval. It's a speaker from the SRC, who's the organizer of the event. Rick's here to present on that. Otherwise, we had a good committee this week. Really excited for Mary B. James. It's hosted by TAG and QPOC. First time since I've been at Grinnell that it's been hosted by a queer student group, I think. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be right here. Sarah, you got anything?
No. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, it's another thing. Yeah. We also have another budget that was approved by committee through an email vote for 100 days. It'll be coming up later in the agenda. Thanks.
Are there any questions on the budgets that are not for voting on campus council? Yes, and could you tell us your name?
My name is Joseph McDonald. I'm a bit lost. I'm just not sure. Done? Okay. Moving on.
Riley, can I just, okay.
Yes. Can we get a mic to Senator DeVega? Thank you.
Yes, so 100 Days is a non-voting ACE event, right? That I can ask a question about? That's what we're asking questions about.
We're going to, the 100 days request is going to be a separate budget item. For now, we're discussing any questions on the ACE budgets that are not over $1,000. Are there any questions on those budgets?
Never mind. I retract the question.
Are there any other questions? All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to the budget request for the Real Lakshmi Piepsna Samarasinha request for $1,500. Would there be someone talking about this budget? These co-chairs? Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Rick. I'm one of the co-coordinators of the Stonewall Resource Center. I also work in the Assistive Technology Lab. So Leela Lakshmi Piepsna Samarasinha is a, better? Yeah, she's a queer disabled activist who works she's an artist in residence at the Sins Invalid Collective, which is one of the most respected disability justice collectives in the U.S. They're based out of Berkeley, California, and have been at it for a long time. So she does a lot of interdisciplinary work. She's a poet, she's a performer, and she does a lot of community-based work, specifically low-income people of color and femmes. So we've invited her out for an April 9th date. This is really perfectly situated right between the Disability Event Series that's going on at that time and also the very beginning of Pride Week. That's that Monday. So April 9th is a Monday. The capstone is drag show on that Saturday. So we've asked her to do a reading, a performance in the evening. Hair Cinema is already booked. And also a workshop in JRC 209 at 4 p.m., primarily for students. And that workshop is titled 2 or 3 Things I've Learned from FEMS About Suicide. And so it's going to be a skill share specifically for FEM students. That's like a self-identification term that's also embedded with some queerness in it. And so it's going to be a group workshop working to build skills for suicide prevention as students, which is really important because as much as Shax is trying, there's some resources we may never have. We've already reached out and gotten funding from the SRC is giving $1,000. That's a quarter of our entire annual operating budget. Wilson has given $750, Rosenfield $1,500, GWS $750. That puts us at $4,000 out of our $6,500. So after this, we will still need $1,000. I already have an ask out at Center for Humanities, and I'm planning on also reaching out to Lakeisha Johnson for Office of Diversity and Inclusion, as well as Wellness Office, English Office, SOC, American Studies. Yeah, thank you. Any questions?
President White. Can we get a mic to President White, please?
I just want to say thank you for being so prepared in your presentation tonight and for all that you do to enrich our community.
Thank you.
ACE Chair Mystic, please.
Just wanted to say the committee reviewed this already and approved it in full. We thought it was a reasonable investment, seeing as they've also reached out to so many other different people, and we support this.
Senator Frimpong.
I just wanted to ask if the manual, like everything that you're doing is just for like a week event, or if it's just for like one event. I'm confused.
So this will just be for one day of programming, the workshop in the afternoon, and then the performance in the evening. And then there will probably also be a dinner with maybe a couple students. So the honorarium is $5,000. And then all the other fees of like the lodging, the travel, the meals, that's the other $1,500. The honorarium was negotiated to be, she gave a range, and I decided to shoot for like the middle upper of her range because she specifically uses her touring and her honorarium fees to put it directly into her low-income community work.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the vote. And we will open up the polls now. The polls are now open for $1,500 for Leah Lakshmi Piyamsna Sarmasinha. A is in favor, B opposed, C abstaining. We are looking for 18. With 17 in favor and 1 abstaining, this budget passes. Congratulations. And up next,
Point of information, I'm about to just email you guys on all an updated SASO budget that's going to be presented later on in ACE, so just keep a lookout for that.
all right, and up next we'll be discussing the budget for 100 days. Is there somebody who will be speaking on this? VP SAF? No, all right. Substitute Senator Bolster. Can we get a mic down, please? Thank you.
Hi, everybody. After you spend 4 years here, you start, no, so 100 Days is a party for seniors, and it's an exclusive party for seniors, and on the face of that, maybe that seems exclusionary, but it's to celebrate our 4 years here, and I think that it's sort of a capstone. Traditionally, you do it at the 100-day mark, so you have 100 days left right here in Grinnell, 100 days left with the people that you care about, that you know, that you love. But now it's going to be a lot less than 100 days because things have occurred, events have happened, mistakes were made, and now we're here, and we have probably, I don't know, 50 days left, 70 days, and so I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a really fun, beautiful experience, and I think that once you all get to your 4th year, you will say, wow, like, I am glad this is still a tradition, because it's magical, and I haven't experienced it yet because I don't know what it's like.
Point of order. What are you getting at, Henry?
Essentially, shh, this isn't debate, but essentially, okay, I'm wrapping up. But basically, it's really beautiful. It may be hard to understand if you're, like, not about to have the party, but like, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you.
You gotta present the budget. You gotta present the budget.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's what this whole thing's about, Henry.
Tight. Okay. I'm sorry.
Is it happening though? Is my question.
I have a question for Senator Bolster. Can I ask it now? Can you please just try in like 10 seconds to explain to 1st through 3rd years why it's so valuable? Because I think the whole, like, you'll get it when you're older thing, it doesn't really work for me. Okay. Just like 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Oh my God.
All right, if we can all return to making sure, we're going to just go back. I'll quickly let everyone know that the budget, the total amount is $1,515 is the amount being requested for 100 days, and we'll turn it back over to the substitute Senator Bolster for any comments on the budget.
Can everyone see the budget right now? Yep. Okay.
Great.
Do you want me to go through it? What's that? Cool.
All right, so are there any questions or comments? Yes.
So essentially, okay, first point. ACE had $2,000 allocated toward this event, correct? Okay, great, so we're under that. Second point, or question actually. Is this event, can we get funding for this event if it's not certain whether we'll have it on campus or not?
VPSA EPS?
I'll let the treasurer.
No, let
Or actually yielding to Treasurer Steckel. If we could get a mic to Treasurer Steckel, please. Thank you.
I think that there are a lot of elements of this event that are very uncertain at the moment. Thus, I would ask that if we were to approve funding right now, we would do so on condition that it is on campus. There are currently discussions, actually, our great President, Treasurer White, is currently on the phone right now with Andrea Connor to talk about this various thing. I don't know why I said great President, that was weird. The point is, a lot of this is still up in the air, exactly where it's going to be, exactly when it's going to be, and I think it's important that we support this event if it can happen safely and if it can happen within, like, SGA's purview. Thus, I think, can I, like, motion to approve this on condition that it can happen on campus with ACE's security? On Friday?
This Friday?
Well, okay, but then it expires at the end of the week. Yeah, okay, yeah, on Friday.
All right, so just so that everyone knows, I see a motion to amend to add onto this budget on condition of being on campus with student security. Do I see a second on this motion? All right, still well good. All right, we are now in discussion of this amendment. VPSA EPS?
I have a couple things to say. One, the way that SGA has in previous years justified doing this is that each class will get to do it as a senior, so in the sense that everyone who goes to Grinnell gets to do it.
Isn't this discussion really about amending it?
Yeah, this is
I know, I'm getting to it. Damn. The next thing is, fuck, I lost my train of thought. ACEs. The
Ace Co-Chair Mystic?
So, I guess my question would be for Zach. Seeing as we've already, as ACE co-chairs, like, technically canceled it with ACES, how would that be worked out with having it on campus when I'm just saying, just in terms of our relationship, to not go back and forth. So like, how would we go about that? Discussion, whatever.
Mike, Treasurer Steckel?
Yeah, I think figuring out this is an example of why I think it doesn't make sense to approve this money unconditionally at the moment, because I don't have the answer to your question. How it would work is up to the conversation that is happening between Summer and Andrea Connor right now.
Senator Wabowski.
My question's not relevant to this amendment.
Okay. VPSA EPS.
So what I was going to say is to the point of, I halfway agree with Treasurer Steckel's, the condition. The reason I don't agree is in light of the administration saying they wouldn't let us hold it on campus currently from what we have right now from the administration, there are a group of individuals who are in the senior class who wanted to have it off campus. And as VPSA and co-chair of the Harm Reduction Committee, I wanted to make sure that there were things there, because we already had a budget for it and we had the money for it, which would help with the harm reduction part, pizza, hand sanitizer, mouthwash, that such things. But our treasurer doesn't want to fund that because there won't be ACES staff. There are people who work for ACES staff there, so it won't be completely like quote unquote safe if there's not ACES there. And I agree with that, and I'm down with the harm reduction, but because ACES can't be there because it's off campus, I still think that in my capacity as VPSA and co-chair of the Harm Reduction Committee, we should give money if it's held off campus, pizza and whatnot, just on like my VPSA shit. And so this body of people can go against, I'm not like no harm to Zach or to the ACES co-chairs, but this body of people as senators can go against what us as cabinet thinks or doesn't think. And so it's on the basis of, this is me saying like, you guys could still say, yes, we'll give the money to the people who want to hose off campus, even if the treasurers agree with it. So in the Constitution, you can go against treasurer. And so in that sense, that was what I'd be asking you to do.
Point of order, the reason why ACES can't attend off campus is because they are now under DSA and not SGA, whereas in the past, they could be at off-campus locations when they were under SGA. So that is like a direct result of what we voted on here to kind of move it over.
Please, Co-Chair Welch.
Just to VPSA EPS's point that he would like this approved without the condition that that it happens on campus. If this ultimately is unable to happen on campus this week or whatever time, we can have discussions about it later about a budget that would be more appropriate for an off-campus event and for that specific venue in which it would take place. And I would suggest that that's what we do.
Treasurer Steckel?
Yeah, I just want to second what Dylan said. The intention of this sort of condition of approving it is approving it in a situation that I know that everyone would be okay with it. I think everything else is very much up for debate, and there are a lot of moving parts that we really just don't know the answer to right now. I don't think it'd be responsible for us to approve that money with the possibility that some of that other stuff could happen yet.
Senator Logan. Could we pass the mic down to Senator Logan?
So Dylan, you're suggesting as ACE chair that it's okay to approve it conditionally because if it is held off campus, we'll renegotiate like the money for it. Is that
That's
what
right.
you said?
This budget is made for the event to happen on campus. This is a budget designed for Gardner Lounge for this Friday.
Okay, so you are cool with it being conditional?
Yes.
It being on campus?
I prefer that, yeah.
Okay. Can I motion to previous question?
Motion to previous question from Senator Logan. Do I see a second?
And this is
Senator
motioning
Wabowski.
to Zach's amendment.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the motion to previous question on the amendment. And can I see all those in favor of this motion? Please raise your hands high now. All those opposed to the motion to previous question on the amendment, please raise your hands now.
Here, point of information.
Yeah.
Okay, I had my hand up when Regina had her hand up, but I put it down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Just because
Uh-huh. Final comments?
Yeah, so I think that further explanation is needed, like why was the event canceled And why does it matter if it's held on campus or off, and why is the budget leaning on that decision?
Can I speak to that? You can speak to that. You know more, but I want to speak to it. Okay. So typically this event happens off campus. Typically we have ACEs come and provide security, and then we can get funding from ACE. However, since ACEs is now under DSA, they've applied new rules to them, and one such rule is that they're not going to put ACEs workers in off-campus locations because they feel that they don't want to put people in new environments, undue risk, etc. They're not, so an alternative, and this was found out like a couple weeks ago, but they're trying to work with it. So an alternative was provided, and that was to host it in Gardner with Bob's Open. And that way we could have ACES security, and we could have ACE funding, all of that. Okay, so then conference ops people were not in support of it. They thought it was exclusive, and they thought that there's too much damage associated with the event. So Michael Sims initially expressed okay. Then the ACE chair, Welch, talked to him again, and he said that there's little support for it within DSA happening on campus. So ultimately, it was not approved, and that was figured out today. The event's supposed to happen on Friday. So that's why the seniors are looking into off-campus location, but wanting to get funding, even though there's not security. So it would break the rules that we've kind of established. Does that make sense? Do you have any more questions? Did I answer it?
Why would certain things be funded if it was on campus rather than off campus? Like which specific budget items are leaning on what the location is?
I think the decorations are specifically geared towards Gardner.
All right, so I'm sorry, but we still do have to continue with the motion to previous question. So we are going to continue with this. Can I see all those in favor of the motion to previous question for the amendment? Please raise your hands now. And all those opposed, please raise your hands now. And all those abstaining, please raise your hands now. All right, and with 12 in favor, 2 opposed, and 4 abstaining, the motion to previous question passes, and we will be now voting on the motion to amend to add the condition of being on campus with student security. And the poll is now open. A is in favor, B opposed, and C abstaining for the motion to amend.
Oh, hey, Ryan, what was abstaining?
C.
Do I press send?
If you could all make sure you voted. We're just looking for 2 more votes. We're just looking for 1 more vote. We're going to wait about 15 more seconds and then just count it as an abstention. If you could all make sure you voted. All right, with 11 in favor, 3 opposed, and 4 abstaining, the motion to amend and add the condition of being on campus with student security passes. With that, we will now be discussing the budget of $1,515 for 100 days on campus with student security. Do I see any questions? Senator Rebelski.
2 questions. One, I'm just a little unclear about why we call it an all-campus event when it's very clearly not an all-campus event. And the second one is just a quick multiplication thing where it says you're buying 10 things of chiffon, but the price is only doubled. Was that just a budgetary difference where it said 10 things of chiffon at double the price of 1 package?
One more time, could you repeat the item?
Yeah, so the third line from the bottom, It says quantity 10, price $7, total price $14. I assume that was just, they meant to type a 2, but if not, I'd also like to know that.
ACE co-chairs,
It's supposed to be 10, so it should be 70.
it should be 70 instead of $14. Does that affect the final?
Yeah.
Does that, how much does that add on?
56, 1571.
Okay, so the actual budgetary amount is $1,571. Thank you for catching a adding error or multiplication error. But do I see further comments? VPSA EPS.
To your first question, as I explained previously, the way that we justify it as an all-campus event is that every class gets to attend it at some point in their time at Grinnell. And so therefore, it's called a la carte, as Michael Sims told me and Dylan, where you can pick and choose how to use the rule. It's very fancy. So the way you can do it is, at some point, every class in their time at Grinnell will get to go to this party. Therefore, it is all-campus event.
Further comments or questions? Senator Rabowski?
I don't know, I'm just worried because last year there seemed to be, 2 years ago there seemed to be no controversy about 100 days. Last year there seemed to be a little bit. This year it seems like there's a large problem hosting 100 days, which makes me think, maybe not every class will get the chance to do this anymore.
ACE Co-Chair Mystic?
So, literally the only reason why there was difficulties was because of, ACES, not to push y'all under the bus, but, because DSA has ACES under it now, that's where the difficulty lies. It's not, have anything to do with, they're trying to stop doing 100 days or whatever. It's just because of that technicality with ACES that causes us to have difficulties this year.
Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, we are going to move on to voting. So we are going to now open the polls, and the polls are now open for the budget of $1,571 for 100 days on campus with student security. We're just looking for 2 more votes, 1 more vote. All right, with 11 in favor, 2 opposed, and 5 abstaining, the budget for $1,571 for 100 days is granted. Congratulations. With that, we will be moving on to the budgets from SPC. We will first be discussing the 2 budgets. Yeah.
So, are we going to have the party on Friday without, the administration saying yes or no to this? Because don't we got to wait for, a confirmation from them? And when we going to get the confirmation? Because ACES sent out a sign-up sheet to the staff, and then we said it was canceled. And now it's we got to get, 10 more staff people who did not plan on working the party again on a Thursday if we get the confirmation on Thursday.
So what the council has passed is simply granting the budget on a condition. So if ACES is not able to organize for it, then the money will not be allocated. Everything other than that will have to be determined outside of this council, unfortunately, because we simply passed the budget with that condition. But as far as the practical effect on ACES, yeah, if people aren't able to do it this weekend, then there won't be the budget for the party.
So why don't we just switch the days? Put it on another.
That can be done also at a later date, as it could also be, this budget could always be brought up again if this condition is not met. Yeah. All right, and so with that, we will be moving on to the budgets from SPC. The 2 that are not over $1,000. Services Coordinator?
Yeah, so we have Bollywood Movie Club. That's a new, oh, there's stuff on my shirt. Okay. That's a new organization, and they requested funding for access or membership to 2 streaming sites. One is specifically focuses on Bollywood films and movies from South Asia, and then the other one is Netflix. And we funded them for 2 months and said use the free trials in order to save funding. Okay, and then the second one is for badminton club? Badminton club. I don't know. Anyway, they asked for standard rackets and birdies.
Are there any questions on these 2 budgets? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is the Sasso Holy budget request for $1,675.50.
So I'm going to do a brief introduction of it, and then you guys can go into it. What? Oh yeah, give them a mic. Someone, please. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so when it came to committee, we said, okay, this budget makes sense because, and the fact that they're requesting food is okay because it's a cultural group and it falls in line with our rule of only funding 2 food events per group where food is secondary to their purpose. The concern we ran into, though, was the quantity. And so its total is $1,000.63. It would be $10 per person who eats at the event. The 100 includes Sasso members and then their plus ones. And they already have people who have RSVP'd for it. So that's kind of figured out. Holy dinner, very important. So we did an emergency vote on it because we asked them, we tabled it until they called India Star and figured out how much it would be for trays and things of that nature instead of just a gross like $100 food for 100 people, $10 per person. They did that. The budget ended up being $600 more. Apparently, that's not reflective of how much food it would cost to feed 100 people. So the original budget still stands. Committee members said they wanted it to come to campus council. They wanted it to be discussed. But they do have concerns about the cost and thought perhaps it could go to all campus events if it was opened up. But I think Sasso has a reason for why they would like to keep it closed. And so I'm going to turn the presentation over to them.
Could you please tell us your name?
I'm Sana. I'm the vice president of Sasso. And Holi is basically a Hindu festival that's not only celebrated in like countries with Hindu majority, but also in Pakistan and Bangladesh. And it's just, it's about South Asian culture. And the reason that it's an SPC and why we approached the services committee is because, well, Holi is actually supposed to be a festival to celebrate spring, but it's not really spring, and we can't do the things that we would like to do. So that's why we just want to keep it within the South Asian community, and it is a really large community. That's why we allowed everyone just 1+1 to make it slightly more limited. Yeah, and
so basically, is this working? Okay. Yeah. So we wanted this event to be like a safe space for us to celebrate like an event that's like culturally and religiously important to us. Secondly, like if some of you don't know, Sasso is a South Asian student organization, and our purpose is to promote South Asian culture on campus and also have like give our members a sense of South Asia within Grinnell. And we had 2 events last semester. They were both all-campus events. We had a fundraiser and then Diwali. And this semester, we're having a total of 4 events, and this is the only one that's non-all-campus. And the reason we're doing that is because it holds religious importance to us, and we just want it to be, again, like I said, a safe space for us. If you, talking about the budget a little bit, so since we capped, so we sent out an email
to our members, to our mailing list, and we had 100 people respond, and at 100 we put a cap, and we didn't let anyone else sign up after that, just because we didn't want our budget to go too high. So it's $10 per person, that's $1,000, and then the rest is for like drinks and cups. The CRSSJ is also helping us. They're providing us with a van that we're going to take to Des Moines to get the food, and then they're giving us stands, candles for like, and flames for the food, and napkins, and they're also giving us the tablecloths. And so, yeah, that's like all the contribution that CRSSJ is making. Do you have anything to add?
Oh, and we had an amendment to the budget. So basically, we didn't estimate the cost of the drinks right, and it's actually $3 per bottle. But now we want to get 20 because we talked to CRSSJ and they said it wouldn't be enough. And so it's just $10 more plus $5 for ice, so $15.
So yeah, so we'd like to amend the budget and add $15 to it. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions?
I urge committee members to talk about what they think, and anyone else to ask questions.
Just for clarity, you're motioning to amend from $1,063 to $1,078, correct? All right, do I see a second for this? Senator Logan. Can I see all those? Or is there any questions, comments on this amendment? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to a vote. We're going to open up the polls. This is just for a motion to amend, increasing $15 to $1,078 total. Polls open. A is in favor, B opposed, C abstain. We're just looking for 2 more votes. If you can make sure you voted. All right, and with 16 in favor, 0 opposed, and 2 abstaining, the motion to amend passes, and we are now discussing the budget of $1,078. Are there any questions or comments? AC Hill? Okay, Senator Robelski. Mike, can we get a mic to Senator Robelski, please? Thank you.
Yeah. My question's just, none of the budgets we've been sent have the $1,078. Could we clarify the difference between that budget, the $1,063 budget, and the $1,600 budget?
Point of order, can you primarily clarify 1,600 versus 1,000? Because I think that wasn't conveyed well by me.
So initially, we presented this budget, which was before the amendment, $1,063, but then the committee asked us to get the price per tray rather than per person. And so when we got the price per tray for the same number of people, the price was $600 more. And that's why, yeah, that wasn't our final budget though. We just sent that to the committee to notify you that that's the cost if we get the cost per tray.
And this amendment was after we spoke to the CRSSJ, and they've done a lot of past events with us, and they suggested that we should probably increase it in order to accommodate all 100 people, so.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, Services Coordinator Porter.
So the trays that they gave you, they said would fill or like feed 100 people.
A little more than 100 people.
And so where does the $600 discrepancy come in?
So I think the way they do it, or the way they described, they don't send, when they do it by plate, I don't think they send the same trays when they do it by tray. So like the cost they give per tray, they said that 1 tray wouldn't be enough, 2 would be too much. They don't give like half or anything like that. So it was just like their own, like I guess issues between the tray and plate. And the plate just, I mean, it's cheaper, it makes more sense. It's for enough people.
Yes, and can you tell us your name, please?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Anand. I'm the treasurer for SASO. And just to let everyone know that India Star has been delivering food here to Grinnell through the CRSJ for the last couple of years. And the CRSJ has talked to them and they offer us a good price for $10 because they have been providing food for Diwali, Holi, and all these events in the past, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion to previous question.
I see a motion to previous question. Do I see a second? Senator Timberwall. All right, and all those in favor of the motion to previous question, please raise your hands now. All those in favor? And can I see all those opposed to the motion to previous question? Please raise your hands now. And all those abstaining, please raise your hands now. Yeah. I'm sorry, but we've already done the motion to previous question. But with that, I see 15 in favor, 1 opposed, 2 abstaining, and the motion to previous question passes, with which we'll be moving on to the vote for $1,078 for the SASO Holy budget. And the poll is now open. Ayes in favor, be opposed, C abstaining. That's my most favorite walk. Got that 16-1-1 done. All right. With 16 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 abstaining, the budget passes, and $1,078 is granted for the SASO Holy. All right, and next we'll be moving on to the budget for the climbing club, $3,832.30. Services Coordinator Porter.
We need to amend that to $4,219.80. $4,219.80.
Is this brought by the committee, or is this a motion to amend?
Was
that number approved by the committee?
No.
Okay. So I see a motion to amend the budget to $4,219.80. Do I see a second? Yes. All right, and we're now discussing the amendment.
Yeah. Okay, I'll explain why, and then I'll give the presentation of the budget.
If we could just explain why, and then we'll do the vote on that amendment, and then we'll do full budget.
Okay, so essentially, the first amount reflects what we thought would be the full cost of the Airbnbs. Upon further research, it turns out it's going to be a little bit more for the San Diego housing. So that's essentially why it's been raised, right? Yeah.
Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we are going to open the votes on the motion to amend from $3,832.30 to $4,219.80. And the poll is now open.
What?
We're going to get a couple more votes, if you could all make sure you voted. This is just the motion to amend. We're going to leave it open for about another 15 seconds before we counted those who have not voted as abstentions. With 15 in favor, none opposed, and 3 abstaining, the motion to amend passes, and now we will talk about the full budget as $4,219.80. Services Coordinator Porter.
Okay, hello. So, climbing club. they came to committee requesting funding for their spring break trip. They requested funding for safety gear for their trip, housing, and gas. Initially, it was a little bit more, and so the committee had concerns about it, said, okay, please amend the budget and like work with me, services coordinator, on it, and then send it back to us and we'll decide on it. It was pretty contentious, I will say, but the consensus was it should come to campus council and be talked about here. Also, another change was that the committee decided that the members who were going should pay for half of the housing. It's a pretty long trip. You can see their schedule in the email, the campus council email. They sent out an application. That was another request. Did you send out the application? Okay. That was another request by the committee because initially there were concerns that it wasn't open enough to people who could be interested. So they did that upon committee request. They've been very flexible to what the committee wants, which is good because they are getting money from us, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I can let them talk a little bit more about why they need the protective gear, the people that they're bringing, and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so.
And could you tell us your name, please?
Joseph McDonald, and I'm the Rockwell manager and the climbing club leader. And so basically, the safety gear that we're asking for, I don't know how much detail I should go into this, but we're asking for crash pads. That crash pad is basically like protective gear that you lay on the ground while you boulder. When you boulder, you're basically climbing not as high as you would with a rope, but you're still getting pretty high up. And the crash pad is basically what's in between, like the pile of rocks and the climber that's free falling from the boulder. So the crash pads are $300 a piece. They are expensive, but they are crucial for safety. And also, these crash pads, like, they won't only ensure, this is also the case for most of the equipment we're asking for, they won't only ensure the safety of, like, the climbing club members during this trip, but they will also ensure the safety of climbing club members for years long before we graduate, given that these crash pads are also known for being especially durable. So the usage they'll get, they'll probably be around for well over a decade, so those will be used for a long time. And actually, this is especially exciting to us because at the Grinnell Rock, we have a situation where the Rockwell isn't that big. It's a great Rockwell, but it's not that big. And without the right gear to go outdoors, where basically people are stuck in the cycle that they come, they sign up to climbing club, they climb a little, they get bored of the indoor Rockwell. We don't have the right gear to ensure their safety to bring them outdoors, so we can't open our outdoor trips to other people, and people lose interest. So this was a great opportunity for a lot of people who expressed interest in wanting to go outdoor climbing to provide this opportunity not only for this trip, but for other weekend trips we'll do to Picture Rocks throughout the year and in future years after we leave, and any other big trips that are done. And we're also asking for 2 70-meter ropes. I think that explains itself. One set of 6 quick draws, and basically the quick draws are used for when you're climbing up a rock face with a rope, and the rope doesn't put itself at the top of the rock face, so one person has to go with a rope under them. And what you do is you attach these quick draws that are basically these 2 metal carabiners attached by some line, and you attach it to a bolt that's already been drilled into the rock face, and then also to the rope. So what this ensures is that if you fall, you will free fall until you're stopped by this quick draw. So you fall twice the distance that you are far away from the free fall. So we're asking for 6. Usually we need about over 20, but Red already has quick draw, so we're going to supplement it with that. And then we're asking for 4 climbing helmets. This will allow two sets of people to climb at the same time, because you need a climbing helmet to belay, and you also need a climbing helmet to climb. So these are important too. In total, the safety gear comes out to $1,898. But again, this safety gear is not only for this trip, it's going to be around for a long time to ensure a lot of student safety. And then next, we're getting half of housing covered. That's what's been approved. And so that's basically $87.50 for 3 nights in Boulder. Then $120 for 7 nights each night in San Diego, and then $87.50 for 3 nights in Denver. And then an additional $956 for gas, which is, we calculate the exact miles that it takes to get from Grinnell to Boulder to San Diego, and back from San Diego to Denver back to Grinnell, and that's the amount that it comes out to. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions as to like why we chose the specific locations, we're happy to answer them, or why we needed the gear that we needed, we're also very happy to answer any questions you have.
Services Coordinator Porter.
Yeah, so how did the application go? I see that there are now 13 people coming.
13 people what?
Are they coming on the trip?
13?
It says, there's a number here, it says 13, times 13. Half of Airbnb paid by us, 13.
We have, those are the nights, yeah. So that, those are the nights, yeah. So,
Okay, how many people are coming?
So as for the issue we ran into is that originally we were only doing outreach at the actual rock wall, and nobody wants to commit until they know what the funding was. So it wasn't until yesterday that we got approved for the funding, and we were able to send an email saying that we have funding. And that email went out to, I think it's like over 50 people that signed up for Climbing Club. And so hopefully we'll get some applications in. Rhett's handling the application, so he can tell you more about that.
Yeah, how many people have responded? Do you know?
None.
Okay. How long are you going to keep the applications open?
I think it'd be pretty fair to keep them open until Sunday or Monday, and then it's just really tight for planning past that. So yeah, I guess for the next few days, but pretty much getting into next week, it's going to be pretty tight to plan for more people.
How many people total are, as of now, are going?
We have 6 or 7 right now.
Tim left because of
Right, so we have 6, potentially 7. We have to talk to Tim, because originally he was having an issue with money, which was what we were all kind of having an issue with. And now that we've been approved for funding, then that may change his mind, so I still have to talk to Tim.
The thing is, we weren't sure at all if we were going to receive funding or not until yesterday, so I didn't want to have people commit to a certain plan and then tell them, oh, sorry, there's no money, it's going to be like twice as expensive as we thought, or we just can't do it at all. So, yeah, that's why outreach has been a bit of...
Senator De Vega.
Yeah, just in an effort to, like, doing this could keep your budget down, which would, probably get you more approval, but your gas, I think, might have an error in it, because if you have 2 cars that are 4,400 miles each, that means 2,200 miles for each car, and if you're requesting 478 for each car?
4,400 miles each, so that's 8,800.
Oh, okay, never mind. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And that's that's 23 gallons, 23 miles a gallon. Yeah, 23 miles a gallon, yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
That's Rhett's car.
AC Hill?
Motion to previous question.
All right, I see a motion to previous question. Do I see a second? VPSA Epps. All right, all those in favor of the motion to previous question, if you could please raise your hands now. All those opposed, if I could see your hands now. And all those abstaining. All right, so 12 in favor, 2 opposed, and 3 abstaining. And the motion to previous question passes, and we will be moving on to the vote for a total of $4,219.80 for the climbing club budget. And the poll is now open. A is in favor, B opposed, and C abstaining. Okay, I'm like right in. We're just looking for one more vote. If you could all make sure that you have voted. What? Is this like the same thing as like... Oh shit, we got it. 836. All right, with 8 in favor, 3 opposed, and 6 abstaining, the motion for $4,219.80 for the climbing club is granted. All right, with that, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is the budgets from services. Services Coordinator Porter.
Yeah, we had 2 budgets coming, and they were both good, non-contentious budgets that the committee liked. So there is a change, though. So for the youth field day, initially we were only going to fund the food element of it and ask them to come back later for the shirts element. And that was a majority of the budget. But then we had an emergency vote once we got clarification on the shirts, and everyone said yes. There's not a single person who said no, which is so nice. We had a lot of emergency budgets this week. And then bowling team, Grinnell Big Brothers and Sisters, they requested funding for 1, a bowling fundraiser event, 2 teams, 10 students total, and 2, a picnic at the end of the year.
Are there any questions or comments about these services budgets?
Picnic.
All right, seeing none, we will be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is the cabinet report from the president. We get a mic to President White, please. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. So I have some updates on things that I have done and things that I have learned since I sent in my report. One is that the divest report and student initiative to divest that passed this semester has been delivered to the Board of Trustee Investment Committee, and they will be discussing that no earlier than the April committee meeting, and I have been assured that the proposal will get serious discussion. In response to the theft that has been occurring on campus, FM and Dining are exploring a locker system for valuables. This won't be big enough for 1,000 backpacks, but that's something they're looking into. They're also looking into getting more cameras in the JRC to surveil the area. One of the theories of the theft is that it might be people who are coming in from out of town on the Trailways bus, and so there will be a request to have that bus stop be elsewhere as well. If you have any feedback on that, feel free to share it after I'm done, or reach out to campus safety director, or let me know and I can convey that feedback as well. Okay, yeah, yesterday I went to a Student Initiative Fund committee meeting where we shared updates on the initiatives and discussed like kind of where they stand now and the roadblocks that they might have. So I'll be working to push those along for the rest of the semester. I also met with the assistant treasurer and the director of campus safety today and had an office hour. Next, I'd like to update you all on 100 days stuff. So before the decision was made about where to hold the event this year, I reached out to staff, urging them to support that the event be on campus on the basis of safety, competency of the hosts, and taking responsibility for any damage if it were to occur, and because it's a fun, positive, special event for many students. It used to be a part of senior events connected with the commencement ceremony and planning with the college, and then in 2012, the decision was made for it to move for the event to be moved off campus because the college no longer wanted to be affiliated with the event due to the harm that it posed on property damage and sexual misconduct. In years since then, it has been hosted off campus in several different venues in town, and ACES used to monitor those spaces under the purview of SGA. And as of this semester, ACES is directed by DSA now, and they're not permitting ACES to work off campus because it's not their jurisdiction, it's the police's. So ACES isn't really covered in terms of liability off campus. So there was a request to hold this event back on campus in Gardner, but the request was denied on the basis of concerns including property damage and sexual misconduct. Though DSA staff are open to collaborating with the ACE co-chairs and members of 2018 hosts of the event to discuss how to have the event that carries a similar sentiment or maybe even the same sentiment in a safer way on campus, at a house, or in a venue in town this weekend or at another point this semester.
Questions? Services Coordinator Porter.
What? Like, I don't, so they're willing to have discussions with us about this, but they have been having discussions with us, but they've made the final no. So I'm not clear on what they're exactly open to.
They're open to brainstorming together, I guess, or discussing ways on how to host a party that is fun for 2018 and is like celebratory of the final semester we have together in a way that is safer than how this party has previously been. What would that entail? Like, I'm not sure, but they're open to like working with students to try and figure out how to have a special event for 2018.
Okay, this is not directed at you, this is generally this whole thing. This sounds like a 10-10 Fall Fest situation, which is pretty irritating, first of all. And secondly, the fact that they are refusing ACEs and then refusing on campus has made it more unsafe, and their willingness to discuss this late is pretty disheartening for me to hear. I think this will happen regardless, and it will be less safe because of administrative decisions.
Senator Farran.
So you've said you spoke to the chair of the theater and dance department, and it says here they're thinking of allowing more flexibility. Like, do you know what that means? Are they not going to have those rehearsals on Wednesday, or like what are they thinking?
I don't know what they're thinking. I think they had a meeting today, and I haven't received any updates on how that department meeting went. I expect to hear back, hopefully before the next campus council, on how that discussion went. I think, yeah, it could look like not having rehearsal that day and having another time, or it could look like letting people leave early, letting people leave later. I don't know how the time frame and all, but just giving more grace, I guess. But I don't know what they're going to decide or anything. Yeah.
Ace Co-Chair Welch.
I had one other quick 100 days question for President White. Do you know if campus security is concerned about the event happening on campus?
From what I understand, they acknowledge, or like, I can't speak for the whole department, but when I spoke with the director this morning, he did express concern that having the event on campus would be safer than having the event off campus. And I think that the staff in DSA who made the decision would agree with that, but just see that there are other options besides having it on campus or off campus.
Any further questions or comments? President's report. All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to the report from the Assistant Treasurer, who is not here. Well, the Treasurer.
I can take any questions.
Any questions about the Assistant Treasurer's report? All right, then the next is the report from the Administrative Coordinator.
I'm going to Florida next week. I'm pretty excited.
Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to the report from the Vice President of Student Affairs.
I don't have anything else to add.
Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the report from the Vice President of Academic Affairs, who's not here. Any questions, I guess, can be sent to VPAA1. Are there any questions, comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the report from the ACE co-chairs.
Yeah, so we met with Michael Sims and ACES as usual. We held committee. We chose the rest of the movies for the rest of the semester. So I'm just gonna go through them real quick, but we'll probably send an email out soon. But Mother is gonna be on April 6th, so that's the weekend we get back from break on the Friday. Proud Mary is April 13th. Half Baked is on April 20th. Detroit is on April 27th. And Annihilation is on May 4th. We also met with host of Talking Heads, Gardner. We did a lot of work on 100 Days, guys, so that's not included on here. But yeah. Dylan?
See you at Lady Bird on Friday, 7:15 or 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Lady Bird.
Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to the report from the DOC, who's also not here. Any questions can also be sent to DOC. Any questions currently? Seeing none, we'll move on to the report from the services coordinator.
Yeah, so just working on takeaway hunger things. I want to say a big thank you to all the CAB members who went to SPC services, and a big thank you to everyone who has tabled for takeaway hunger food packaging event. It is this Saturday, 10 a.m., 10:45 a.m., 45 minutes. Please come. Please do it. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll make you feel good. And it'll do good too. I urge you all to sign up on the form that was sent out to you. Please, 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 please. Okay, and get all your friends to do it as well. We need, the more the merrier, you know? Additionally, I'm a fourth year, and I am dealing with 100 days with other people, so that's fun. And I just accepted a job. So exciting. Okay, bye now.
Any questions or comments? All right, yes.
How many people have signed up for the Takeaway Hunger event?
There's around 60 or 70 that I think will definitely come. And that's including CAB. We could use a lot more, but we're still tabling. And also, you don't have to sign up. You can also just show up. That also works out. Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the report from the concerts chair, who's not here. Oh, yes. Future concerts chair.
Hi, I'm Casty. I'm Assistant Concert Chair. I don't have anything to add except that Luke and I met today for the first time and going over the job, and that went really well. And I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Any questions on concerts? Any comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the report from the treasurer.
Hi. Same old, mostly. Getting caught up on lots of paperwork within the office, working with Quinn to restructure some of SGA's internal financial practices. Pretty soon, Wise and I are going to be meeting the new VP of Finance and trying to set up that new relationship, among other things. I was out of town this last weekend too, though, so that definitely put a damper on some of what I accomplished. Hopefully that can stop soon. And by stop, I mean start doing other things. Yeah. I can take any questions.
Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we are going to move on to an update from the Reform Committee. The Reform Chair, can we get a mic to Senator Logan, please? Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm working on making sure the Constitution is updated on the website, getting templates for resolutions and amendments so that people can easily make those things. At committee, we talked about various committee regulations around personal items, around food policy, around conflict of interest. If any of that is curious to you, you should definitely come to Reform on Tuesdays at 12 in the SGA office. We also talked about adding term limits for paid non-cabinet members, because that is not in the Constitution right now, and that's important.
Are there any questions about the Reform Committee? Any comments? All right, seeing none, we are going to, we have one extra item, which is a update on the Stipend Committee.
Hi, hello. I am here to give a brief report on how the student initiatives are going. So just to give a quick update on the Bucks Bum practice room signs. They have been approved by Music SCPC, and we're hoping that they will get fully implemented by April 13th. The murals all around campus have been denied by FM, but we're looking to renegotiate, so hope in that sense. The shrieking chairs, have you noticed that they're not shrieking as much? We put cloth, like a t-shirt cloth and rubber bands from President Kington, so, I mean, that Kington love, you know. So, We're also looking to possibly ask the tennis team for like old tennis balls, so hopefully that will solve more of the shrieking chair problem. Update on the student on the board of trustees. We will be having, there will be a, where is it? There is going to be a meeting on the telephone, I guess, basically just about having this, talking about having a student on the trustee board. And so it's on the agenda, so that's great. They're actually going to talk about it. Update on the hand dryers, it's still going slowly, but we were thinking about maybe doing a pilot of putting in hand towels and seeing if people would be willing to clean the towels themselves by doing laundry. Yeah, we were thinking about actually talking with a CA, and generously, President White has suggested her floor. What else should we talk about? Yep, toasters and kettles. The toasters have been approved, and yeah, that's fantastic. The kettles have been suggested that you could just microwave water in, in a cup if you wanted to. So that's still being talked about. But yeah, that's the gist. So yeah.
Senator Farhan?
I spoke to Joel alone about this student initiative regarding the toasters and kettles, and he said that if you have any argument for why kettles are really necessary, then I should tell him. If I don't, then I don't. But if any of you have any ideas for why you can't heat up your water in the microwave and why a kettle is necessary, if you have any ideas for that, you can email me. I'm meeting him tomorrow.
And then also, our next meeting is Thursday, March 15th at 7 p.m. in the SG office. So please come and lend your support, tell your constituents. Yeah.
Are there any other questions about the Stipend Committee? All right, seeing none, we will be moving on to the next item, which is the senator reports. Senator Ercolani is not present, but are there any questions? Do you have anything? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to Senator Becker, who is no longer Senator Becker. And with that, we'll be moving on to Senator Farhan. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so last week we hosted our first hall council, which was very successful, attendance of more than 40 people. We emailed our constituents and posted, and yeah, and my senator project is going to be helping out Wise, the assistant treasurer, with whatever he needs me to do. There's a lot of work that can be done, apparently.
Any questions? All right, then Senator Weber, do you have anything to add?
Nothing further.
Are there any questions? All right, Senator Iyer, do you have anything to add? Any questions? All right, Senator De Vega, do you have anything to add?
Hello. Okay. Yeah, just one thing, that we are trying to get the printers fixed in Reed, which was a senator project last year. So hopefully the increased demand will lead to increased supply. That's all.
Are there any questions? All right, Senator Nelson, do you have anything to add? Are there any questions? And Senator Vale, do you have anything to add? Any questions? Anybody have any questions? All right, seeing none. Senator Wogan, do you have anything to add? Do I have any questions? All right, seeing none. Senator Collinger, do you have anything to add? Do I have any questions? All right, and Senator Romo, do you have anything to add? Yes, can we get a mic to Senator Romo, please? Thank you.
Okay, which is doing a campaign on consent. I met with Emily Howe, who focuses on sexual respect on campus. So that was really cool. Our meeting went really well. She told me that April actually is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So that's perfect, and Advocates is already working on something for that. So I'm going to be meeting with them next week. Also, real quick, come to Quinceañera on Saturday, 5 to 8, main quad. There's going to be Ecuadorian food. I swear it's the best food I've ever put in my mouth. Please go. Yeah.
Are there any questions? All right. Senator Satchel, do you have anything to add? Any questions? All right. And Senator Frimpong is no longer here. All right. Are there any questions, though? Seeing none. Senator Rapelski, do you have anything to add? Are there any questions? All right. And Senator Pierce, do you have anything to add? Are there any questions? All right. And Senator Timberwall, do you have anything to add? All right. Any questions? All right. Then we are at, yes? President White, can we get a mic?
Yeah, I'm wondering if any of the exec-elects who are present want to give a update about what you have been doing in terms of training and hiring preparation.
I cannot, but yes.
So we're in the process of accepting cabinet applications, which are due tonight at midnight. We've been meeting individually with those whose positions we'll be assuming after commencement. Mainly just a lot of cabinet stuff right now. I think post-spring break, there will be a lot more to report on, but for right now, it's just kind of picking cab and discussing with our respective positions. If anyone has any questions, feel free to speak with Khadijah, Riley, or I at any time, or email us or whatever. We're happy to talk.
Are there any questions? All right, thank you, President White. And with that, we have the adjourning motion. Do I see a second? Ace Co-Chair Welch. And all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining, please say aye. All right, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Edit the adjourning time onto the title of the document so that we all have it for our personal entering. Because I always like forget.
Please return your clickers and name tags up to the stage, as you all always do, because you're just such great senators. So keep up the great work, everybody. Cool. See you next week.
Yeah, I just texted you. Okay. Yeah. No, I'll check it. Also, I get some TBD for your. Yeah, perfect. Wonderful.